Hey, welcome to Self Soul Space. Ashley here, and yeah, I'm in a different set. Well, not really. It's my living room. As you know, I have two competitive gymnasts, so gymnastics equipment lives everywhere in our house, but that's okay. So, today's episode, I am going to show you how we increase our flexibility, how we increase our mobility regardless of our activity level. So maybe you exercise on the regular or maybe you don't. Today, I'm going to show you 5 simple stretches that you can do to help improve your flexibility and your mobility and help us to just feel overall better. There will be a few modifications that I can show you to help decrease the intensity of the stretch. And 2, you can do these stretches whether you are out at the park on a walk. You can do them upstairs in your bedroom before you go to bed. They're also a nice way just to really kind of release any additional stress or tension that may be caused from life or from exercising. So, are you ready? Well, let me show you exercise and stretch number 1. So, stretch number 1 is pretty simple. It's pretty easy, and you've seen this probably before. What you're going to do is you're going to come to a standing position. I want you to take your feet just about hip distance apart. So you've got almost a foot worth of space between your feet. That's really, really important. Then what I want you to do is I want you to pull your belly button in towards almost like you're sucking in your stomach. And then I want you to slowly just release. You can soften your knees just a little bit. They don't need to be perfectly straight. And then I just want you to reach towards your toes. Now, maybe depending on your flexibility level, you may be able to bring your hands to the ground, or they may just kind of dangle. You may also, to help support your lower back, bring your hands to your shins. Do not place them on your knees, place them on your shins or on your thighs. Now, as you slowly start to release into the stretch and let go through your lower back and your mid back, I want you to just relax your head. Let your head drop and just breathe. Now, with each stretch, I'd like for you ideally to stay here for anywhere from 4 to 5 breaths. So that's breathing in through your nose and out through your nose and just relaxing. Feeling the stretch in the back of our legs, maybe a little bit behind the knees, maybe a little bit through the back of the calf. It's really important as we feel the stretch through the lower back that with today's society, we are at home more, we are sitting more, we are at desks, we are on computers, sometimes we are hunched over. This stretch is great to do when you just need a quick 30-second break from maybe typing up emails and reports, from doing your Zoom calls, maybe even you're doing a homeschool program or something like that. This is a great stretch for you and your kids to do, to increase that flexibility and mobility through the back of our legs and in our lower back. Now, once you complete your 5 breaths, I want you to tuck your chin and slowly roll yourself up like a rag doll, like Raggedy Ann. That we call our hamstring stretch. Okay, so now for stretch number 2. We are going to come into a cross-legged position as best as you can. So maybe your legs are out here today. Maybe they're a little closer in, or if you'd like a little bit more intensity, you may take one foot and place it on your knee, flexing the foot and lowering the knee down towards. So this is called, in yoga, it's called a lotus pose or a modified half lotus pose, or in our house, crisscross applesauce. That's what we're going to do. So find your variation. So maybe you're crossed a little far, legs are farther out, tucked under, or on top. Wherever you choose today, I want you to take a nice deep breath in, reach your arms up, and then you're going to bring your left hand to your right leg. And you're just gonna sit tall through your spine and just feel the gentle twist up through the mid back, through the shoulders, And after a few breaths, then you're going to breathe in, reach up again, and you're going to go to the other side. So we have to be balanced. You stretch one side, you've got to stretch the other. This is another great stretch if you find yourself sitting a lot at computer screens, at desks. This really stretches out your back so you feel nice and mobile. Now for stretch number 3, you can do this standing up, you can do this sitting down, wherever you are. We're going to stretch out our arms. Really important again, if you are exercising or doing any sort of fitness program, or maybe you're using a little bit of weights, it's very important that we do stretch our arms. So with that, I want you to take your right arm and I want you to cross it over in front of your chest. Nice straight arm. Spread your fingers and then place your left hand on the forearm. Avoid your elbow. We want to stay away from the joints. And you're just going to give it a nice gentle pull towards the opposite shoulder. So you feel the stretch coming through the upper back, through the shoulder, and then with your fingers spread apart, you even get a little stretch through the forearm and through the hands. If you're a texter, this is good. So give yourself a good stretch. Remember, breathe in and out, 5 breaths, and then we're going to switch sides. So switch, spread those fingers, give a little tug. Go where you feel the stretch. You do not want to be in pain. You don't want to yank into the stretch. Just a nice, gentle pull to increase the flexibility in your arms. So we've done our arm stretch, we've done our legs. Okay, now stretch number 4. Now you can do stretch number 4 again, seated, you can do it standing up, whatever feels best to you. I want you to take your hands and I want you to bring them behind your back. Ideally, you're going to try to clasp them if you can. Now, as you're seated, I'm going to turn to the side. I'm going to sit crisscross applesauce. If you're standing, this works better too. So, clasp your hands together and try to pull them down towards the ground, pulling your chest up, pulling your shoulders back. Almost imagine there's a string that's pulling you straight up to the ceiling, clasping your hands behind. It's kind of a counter stretch. You are pulling your hands down and you're lifting your chest up. You can take your eye gaze up to the ceiling. This just helps to open up our chest, stretch us out. This is a really nice stretch to do in the morning when you first wake up. After your 5 breaths, when you're ready, you can slowly tuck your chin and then gently release your hands. 1 more to go. Perfect if you are seated, or go ahead and grab a seat if you're not. Now for our last stretch of the day, we're going to add a little bit more flexibility and mobility to our legs. So I'd like for you to take your legs and just extend them out. We are seated. You can do this, like I said, if you were sitting in the bed before nighttime, anything like that, or when you first wake up in the morning. Now, as you're seated upright, I want you to kind of pull your hip back just a little bit and then pull the other side back. What we're going to do is, you may have a slight bend in your knees if you need to, but ideally we want our legs more straight and our feet relaxed, not super flexed and not pointed. Just relaxed. Now take a nice deep breath in, raise your arms as high as you can, and then I want you to pull your chest towards your legs as much as you can, and then let your hands come down. Now today, this is where I am. Some of you may be all the way down with your chest touching your knees. Fantastic. Or you may still be a little upright and you're feeling the stretch through the back of your legs and again through that lower back. Today, we carry a lot of stress in our lives and it actually impacts our body. And one of the key spots where we hold a lot of stress is in our lower back and on the back of our hips. So it's really important to do stretches like this just to help you feel better and increase your mobility and flexibility. So reach a little bit more And maybe as you get through your third, fourth, and maybe even your fifth breath, maybe you find that you can reach just a little bit farther. But our goal is to try to keep our back straight and to bring our chest forward, not rounding like a turtle shell. Excellent. Now, after you finish your breath, slowly roll your body up. And those are our 5 stretches. So remember, we have the standing hamstring stretch. We have the cross-legged twist right and left. We stretched out our arms right and left. We opened up our chest, and then we did a seated straight leg stretch, also known as a seated forward fold. I hope that helps you increase your flexibility. I hope you feel a little bit more mobile and you just feel good. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.